Stock Chelsea because now a lot of Chelsea fans now are beginning to get worried. This is a team who lifted the Club World Cup. I mean, just
and not calling a glorified friendly match.
How many weeks ago, and now back-to-back defeats for Chelsea against United and against Brighton. I was on Instagram. I saw. Teddy, I don't know if you know him. If you follow Big Brother very much, he's a Chelsea fan. He always does his fan bands and stuff. Yeah. So I saw him ranting like he's tired, that he's tired about Chelsea and stuff like that because, losing at home to Brighton. Now, should Chelsea fans be worried? Is it too? I mean, whenever things are not going well for a football team, one thing that comes to people's head is the manager. Would you want to sack the manager? Would you want to do this? Would you want to pull the plug on the manager and all that? So I don't know. Is it too soon for Chelsea to pull the plug on Enzo Maresca because the results are not going their way and all that? Chelsea fans are not impressed with the signings so far this season. No A-lister, like no scary name. Those names that bring fear to the position to signing and all that. So looking at Chelsea as a whole, should Chelsea fans be worried, or is this just a blip? You see them overturning in the near future?
I mean, if you want to look at football from a purist point of view, I don't think a Chelsea fan should be worried. Like I've always said, in the last 20 years of football, Chelsea is the third most successful team in the world. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea. Not even Bayern or Juventus or any other team. So if we were coming from that place, the fans have the right to have high hope and high expectation. They have not gone to that Liverpool 30 years of hoping and wishing. They've not gone to this Arsenal's 20-something years of hoping and wishing, praying for luck. But the transition from the Roman style, the Roman, if I want it, I go for it. It's not a style that everybody would do, right? It's like staying in Nigeria, loving what is happening in Burkina Faso, and you begin to pray for coup to happen. The question is, do you have Ibrahim Traore in your army? Or you have some of the same people that are like the people that you don't like right now? Because, again, historically, every leader that have gone is not better than the one that is here. Who's telling you that a coup will not produce? Do you have Ibrahim Traore in your army? The reason why I'm saying that is Chelsea know the kind of players that they have, the kind of players they also signed, and the whole signing player for 10 years, the whole poultry business that they started under these new owners. Already you should have programmed your mind to say that anything will win, like winning the World Club Cup, is more of luck than a plan to win it. In Roma's case, Roma sees this thing that it's a need for this club. He set his team up in such a way to win it. Chelsea is the only coach that could have sacked Mourinho in that first time that he sacked him. There is no club, only club. There's no club after what Mourinho have done, 50 years of not winning, coming to win the Premier League back to back, and being robbed out of the Champions League. It's not like it was because of a tactical problem. Being robbed, out of the Champions League, and then you fire Jose Mourinho. But that's Roman. I don't think these guys would do that. These guys are more into the market. What are we gaining? What are we making? The Americans, that's what Americans think. Americans are bottom line people. All their business is about numbers, is about hype. If trophy comes, fine. Trophies is secondary. To a European and the way they grew up with football, the culture is what have you won? That's why a club can let a Daniel Levy go. If he was an American, 100% American business, Daniel Levy is going nowhere because he's built them his world-class stadium. He's making them more money than any other team. Come on, they will stay on that space. Who cares about the trophy? The trophy makes you, as a business, spend more, right? So the culture with Europeans is always going to be different. You need to know that first, and then it is on that premise that you now build your expectation. But what I see with a lot of Chelsea fans is that they are still living, they are still high on the codeine, the moly, the whatever of Roman Abramovich. They've not been detoxified from the Roman drug, right? The Roman highness. Now they are expecting that this Elysia that came with Roma should continue with these new guys. No, it's not so. Sometimes it's not always a yin and a yang. Sometimes it is good versus bad. Sometimes it is fire and water. And you have to find where you fit in all of this. Okay. So for Chelsea fans right now, they need to temper their expectation. They need to accept the fact that this type of defeat would happen on a consistent basis. They are standing on a crossroad. They might take a few decisions that will take them straight sailing upward. They might take a few decisions that will send them the same path that Manchester United have been for a couple of years. It is up to them, but I think they should be patient. I wouldn't sack a Maresca right now, but I'll try to figure out with my reason with Maresca and like, what is the problem? What do you want? If you look at Arsenal, that season they did the Amazon All or Nothing video. That was a season that I can say it with my chest that Arteta's sack letter was on the table. The conversation around sacking him was there. But what he needed was an igniter, a fire starter. And it was supposed to come from the fans. But then, you see, Amazon hurriedly released that video, and people saw the suffering that the coach was going through behind the scene, the whole issues that the club had, and they're like, no, this coach is trying, let's keep him. Yeah. That has kept him going. This season, there's another sack later waiting for him, and you can see Arteta is no longer the happy guy. You can see the pressure on him. Every victory means a lot to him now. He wants to win at all costs, because there is nothing he wants or he needs or he desires that has not been given to him. Everything he desires have been given to. The one thing that you can say, oh, but this is what he wanted, he didn't get, is Cisco that is not unleashing dragon, Benjamin Sesko at Manchester United. So if you compare his performance to Gyökeres have not really lit up, yeah, the Premier League. But you could say this guy is progressing, he's getting into the element. But Benjamin Sesko, you look at him and say, this is not even feel unleashed dragonfly, not to talk of the main dragon itself. So that's the only one. So for this is under a lot of pressure. So when you look at Maresca, you ask yourself, have they given him the tools to make him compete for the title? One season that Pep Guardiola suffered from a few injuries, his team almost didn't make it to the top 4. So have they given him the tools to make him compete against the best of the best? The team that won the league last season spent almost 300 million, even though they also sold and made a lot of money. So if you look at it conversely, you will see they spend 125 million or even less, But long story short, what I'm saying is that they put themselves in a higher competitive position. Have Chelsea put themselves in that position? Arsenal have also gone to spend 255 million. Man City have also gone to spend that much money in January and the summer. Have Chelsea matched them in spending? Have Chelsea done enough? Even a Spurs that spend money, we see where they are in the league table. So it's not really matching the expectation. Their spending have not matched the expectation. The quality of players that they've had have not matched the expectations. I would say, don't even discuss sacking Maresca right now. Be patient with him and hope that he gets his squad alignment properly. Because if you sack him, the next coach that's coming is going to work with these players. It's this same set of players that he will work with. They might have a new manager bounce over 2 or 3 games, and they go back to status quo again.
Because like someone tweeted, he's not impressed with the signings at all. Like, Esteval, this is what he said, Esteval, prospects, Delap, injured. João Pedro has been the only spark in the Chelsea signings.
But Esteban is not a bad player.
He just said prospect, because you look at the whole Chelsea squad, there's no player that strikes fear in the opposition as well. Delap had a good start, but injured right now.
Who strikes fear in the opposition from Arsenal team?
Well, when you look at Gyökeres,
is it coming together?
So but you look at,
but what he's done so far in the Premier League,
so that's what Chelsea fans are looking at and say, okay, no player. This is Chelsea. We used to
I thought Chelsea would have done everything to get Osimhen. I thought so. He loves to see Chelsea. He talks about Chelsea. I agree with the conversation. I agree with the fact that the money he was asking at the time was ridiculous based on the market. But they could have found a way around it to say they were really serious. Like, guy, we'll not pay you this, but we'll pay you an incentive, motivation kind of clauses in your contract that will also make you earn this money or even more. But they didn't get a striker that can strike fear in the heart of people. Arsenal's fear is in the collective. And that not everybody is afraid of them, but it's in the collective. Now, what you have with Chelsea is that everybody just come like Sunday football. They are like super egos. They look like they are stars, but they are not stars. So it will take time for the coach to move. Don't forget that this Arsenal that we're all talking about, it took Arteta 2 seasons of 8th, 5th, then before you have 3 straight second now. So it didn't just happen overnight. Not everybody is going to have the luck of Slot and Wenger. When they came in, they inherited a team that is just nearly there, right? This Chelsea team is a team in transition. It's going to take some time. Arsenal team was in total chaos and collapse. It's taking time. Now we're talking about, the expectation this season for Arteta is to win it. The first 2 times he came second was above expectation. Like he went from 8th, 5th, and second. It's this third one, this last one that everybody like, oh no, but you can understand the injury. So I think that the same patience should be given to Maresca. Chelsea fans will not agree. There are people whose default response is I disagree with you. But disagree with an understanding that Manchester United are still keeping one of the worst coach in the league in Ruben Amorim with some quality players. Why not keep Maresca? I am always not comfortable with go and get a coach that have already started coaching and is coaching all these low mid-table teams. Their default setting, I'd rather get an assistant coach, like in the Arteta case. Their default setting is not to win. Their default setting is like you bring Sam Allardyce or the Wolves manager, the former Wolves manager, Nuno Espirito Santo, to this Chelsea. All of a sudden, there'll be a team that is celebrating finishing 7th, 8th, 7th, 6th, or 5th. Because that's what his default setting is like. I've seen this happen before. Arsenal, Bruce Roch, they got him from Bolton Wanderers, and Arsenal became 7th. It's like, oh, we go die here. They brought in Arsene Wenger. He's won in Monaco. He's won in Nagoya Grampus in Japan. And he came and immediately turned that team that finished in 7th to a team that's winning the double the following season. So you need to bring in people who know how to manage victory, people who know how to win titles, right? To a team that is used to winning titles. A Phil Jackson type of coach in the NBA, find them in the football space. I mean, does it not surprise you that Antonio Conte went to Napoli, a team that have a tradition of winning one league in 30 years? All of a sudden, this season they are already saying that they are part of the team that will win the league, even with the resurgence of Juventus and Inter Milan and the rest of them, because you have a coach like Conte bringing a season winner, a man who knows how to manage success, a man who knows when you win a game 5-0, you can tell the players to be humble. That doesn't mean anything. At 3 points you get. When you win a last minute game 1-0 or 2-1, come from 1, go down, like Arsenal did against Newcastle, know how to tell the players the kind of word he will tell them that will keep them in the game. That's the guy you need. And unfortunately, they brought Maresca from wherever they brought him from, Brighton and Hove. Leicester, sorry. This is a Leicester kind of coach. So Chelsea would obviously get a Leicester kind of result, just the hybrid of it, because they are Chelsea. Because some teams will obviously melt just by facing Chelsea. But some would like, let's give it a go. If all die and I die. And then that's where coaching will come in. The coach will fidget like, oh. I mean, we all know how to drive until they give you a Maybach or a Ferrari to drive. You now realize some drivers are more driver than the others, and that's exactly what's happening here.
We were talking about Enzo. Maresca won the championship with Leicester before he moved to Chelsea. It doesn't get any easier because they welcome a returning Jose Mourinho at Benfica in the Champions League this weekend. And Mourinho has been speaking a lot in the build-up to this game. You know, talking about his time at Chelsea, like you mentioned, the Abramovich era. They were winning things. You know, signing A-list players, winning trophies. He credited Chelsea with their recent winnings, but like they need to do more. Doesn't recognize the kind of players they signed. This was Mourinho talking now. So it's another game where Enzo Maresca needs to step up, because I mean this is just a Mourinho.
He's not the one that signed players.
Exactly.
I don't ever blame coaches for signing of players, because it's not.
But
them
you always
that
want coaches to have an input, to have a say when it comes to this signing, because at the end of the day, they are the ones who are with these players.
Even Pep Guardiola does not sign players. We know that he doesn't sign players, right? Have an input, yes. This is how it works in clubs where data is the king. We no longer have the Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson type of coaches anymore. Even at Madrid, Ancelotti, who's the greatest coach in the world, does not have the power to sign any player. There's no player there that Ancelotti signed. This is what happens. A coach comes and say, I need a left back. They tell him, give us the specification of the left back you need. And then, if you go back and watch that, they are all or nothing. You see the signing of Omeric Laporte. Omeric Laporte.
Man City?
Yeah. And you see the process. You name the specification of the type of player you want. They go out there, they call their data people to search the entire football world for this specification, this requirement. It's like putting a hit on somebody in the dark web. You're not going to know who's going to do it. You put it there, you pay, you sit back and find out that the person have died. Right? That's the way it works. You can't really point to the person who executed it. So they would now go, the guys who are signed, the Arab guy that is there. The advantage he now has is that the people around him, Chiki and the rest, are his bodies. So obviously they will tell him that, oh, now this guy won't get to. But think of a club like in the case of Andre Beta now. Andre Beta is not a friend to Arteta. For business, you know how they say friendship makes the business go well, but we don't have to be friends to work. In the club meeting, if this is the end, the person that will sack Arteta is Andre Beta. because his voice will be so high. This is how the conversation will be at the end of the season. Management will say, and Roberta, we gave you all the money. We gave you almost 300 million to sign the best players that win us the league. And Roberta, when he finished listening to his bosses, he will turn and reply and say, the players, the money you gave me, I spent it wisely on the best player. I signed a striker that won the Gardmola's trophy. If this coach does not know how to use that player, it's not my business. It is the coach that does not know how to use player that is signed for him. He said he needed a player from his former club. We signed Subimendi for him. He said he needed this one. We got him easy last minute. So there is no player he wanted or he could have needed in the industry, in the market, that we didn't give him. So ask him why he didn't transform it into winning. Then they will not start doing analysis of City were not in their best element. The Liverpool even, those games that he could have won tactically that he was playing with handbrake. Then the board will come into a decision and say, you know what, let's fire him. Then I asked Roberta, who's the next coach you would like to work with? So I can confidently tell you that Andre Beta sacked Arteta. I'm not saying he sacked now, but that's how the conversation will be. But saying that, when I hear people say, oh, Arteta, no, they sign players. Like in January, I said, no, the reason why Arteta can't sign players because they don't have a football director. Edu left in November. And people didn't get it. A lot of people, a lot of my fellow analysts and podcasters were saying this. I was like, coaches don't sign players, especially in a team where you have football director. And in some cases, the football directors are always at loggerhead. It's the principle of divide and conquer. The bosses do not want two people who will be colluding. So they'll put somebody whose ego is just as big or even bigger than that of the coach and then put them to work together. If they cannot find the harmony to get this going, it's their business. Pep is lucky to be working with his friends. And that's how he's been there for this long as well. But he's also delivering on the field. But in most cases, it's that guy that you look up to sign new players. And for Chelsea's case, it's even the owners and their tech boys who just, roll the dice, play kalu, and then anything that come out, they'll play one Baba Ijabu here, play one slot there, whatever number that comes out. That guy that scored 5 goals, go and sign him. That's what they do.
So in hindsight, you're saying the club World Cup win for Chelsea was an overachievement, more like a blessing in disguise now if you look at it, because the injuries has also taking its toll as well, on not just on Chelsea. Look at Paris Saint-Germain, the team that made all the way injuries here and there. So do you think that was an overachievement for this Chelsea side?
It is disrespectful for a club the size and status of Chelsea to say winning the World Club Cup was an overachievement. This is their level, this is their range, this is where they should be. Like you also said, Chelsea had a longer season than a lot of other clubs. They won the Conference League as well. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying, don't sack. Why we want to sack Maresca? He won the Conference League. Oh, they say it's a low-level tournament where all the big winners gather. He went there and he won. So a few bad games should not. But to blame Chelsea for their bad result and then now make their winning of the World Club Championship a fluke, that's the one thing that I don't really like. It's banter analysis. There's a bit of bias to that. Give them credit for winning it, because every other team that came there came to win. They didn't come there to just pass by and collect check and go. Everybody wanted to win. Chelsea was not odds-on favorite to win it, and then they went on to win it. They deserve it. They did. They came. They played the game. They set their strategy right. They knew when to up the ante. They knew when to play low and just get the needed result. They won it. Credit to them. Credit to Maresca as well. They won the Conference League. You can only play the competition that you qualify for. He didn't qualify for it, but that's what the previous coach qualified for, and he also won it. So if you look at it, he's not failed. Apart from winning the league last season and then he qualified for the Champions League, he's not failed. So to not just say pull the brakes, kick him out of the plane without the parachute, let him go and I don't think that's fair on him. Give him some season. The results are not going well right now, but then there is also injury. Paris Saint-Germain are not also robbing themselves in glory because of injury. Injury will wreck any team. Arsenal, we saw it last season. Man City, we saw it last season. Man United, Tottenham Hotspur, even though they won the Europa, we saw what injury did to them. So to understand that Chelsea are suffering this much injuries and still think, okay, we should just blame the coach, it's not one of those things that I don't know how to analyze football like that. It's not something that I'm good at doing. If it is banter analysis, maybe we can just do that, but that's not what I do. So I think I will give him some time, and I also look at the medical team and try to get the players back. Do you know that Arsenal would also be suffering like this if, for instance, they did sign all these players that they signed and they went on with that squad? Odegaard out injured, Gabriel Jesus out injured, Kai Havertz out injured, Bukayo Saka out injured. We would have lost all those games. And then another story will come. But because we have a robust squad, not like they are the biggest names in the industry, but we have a robust squad, players who are also competing to say, this is my moment, let me seize it. You see how good it has been for them. So people will also argue that Chelsea also have a robust squad. Why are they not that competitive? Well, I don't know. That's where the coaching comes in. But I think that you should still with the coach, give him some time. it might come good.
Just 6 months days in the English Premier League, not just Chelsea alone when it comes to defeat. Even the league leaders lost for the first time this season away to Crystal Palace. They were
Crystal Palace kept their 100% record.
Exactly. So, what Liverpool do to other teams, they were at the receiving end this time. Those late goals and all that. So, it was really, really fantastic for Crystal Palace. I love that manager, Glasner. Like, he's so confident when he speaks. And for the fact that...
But I'm not going to play for Liverpool. Now 7 to now
we don't. We have on the slot, so we're still very much in the driving seat. Maybe United should look at Glasner.
And the slot is throwing somebody under the bus now. Many players not go rebel against them.
So Chelsea, I said it. So more patience for Enzo Maresca. He's still very much, given time, given the chance to do the job with Chelsea. Now,
the only coach that should be fired right now is Graham Potter and Ruben Amorim.
Graham Potter has been fired. So there's Nuno Espirito Santo now.
So Ruben Amorim should be the next person.
So that's your next prediction. The next manager, like he's not.
So is everything I say a prediction now?
No, I just want to put you on, make you the same man. If it happen, it happen. We're gonna say you talk out.
No, that's the guy that should be fired. I think
another defeat for United as well. This weekend.
No, they've not been winning back to back. So once they beat Chelsea, you know that they're not going to win back to back. It's just a simple thing that this is the pattern. I told you that I study pattern. Pattern always work. His own way is I win one difficult game and then the next game I'll embarrass myself. So anybody this weekend who was a betting man should know that Man United was going to lose. They don't win back under Amorim. They don't back-to-back winning is rocket science.
Picture, yeah.
So with that, you could have gambled your entire life savings and say, if I perish, I perish. After all, Roots and Boaz came out this weekend by Tyler Perry. So it's if I perish, I perish. If I die, I die. If I save, I save. Right? But for Liverpool, I think I don't like the way the coach threw Cody Gakpo under the bridge. You know how we've been saying that I want to see him under pressure. I want to see him where he loses game and see how he can keep his cool. And everything he's been doing to other people happened to him, and it was a good game. But then throwing a player under the bus, I don't know if you repeat this thing like 2 or 3 times, he's not gonna get job again because the players will make sure they have their final say. Having said that, for Ruben Amorim, I think it's more of that stubbornness of my way or the highway. My way or the highway is good when you are Pep and you have won a lot. Well, yeah, Ruben Amorim, and what you've won is in Portugal and with a club called Sporting, when the other 2 big clubs, FC Porto and Benfica, are going to hibernation. You cannot bring that my word the highway to the house of the devil and say this is what I want. And I think that's the problem. If I'm Ruben Amorim, you know that thing they said is you stoop to conquer. I would stoop, change the tactics a little bit. I could really call the players and say, come, what do you guys want? Pep Guardiola did it with Bayern. Players said they are running too much. I said, what do they want? They said this is how I want to play, and they lost 4-0. So guys, shut up. I know what I'm doing. I'm the coach. You guys don't know anything. What you think you know is not good. Yeah, they fired. He left eventually after the 3rd year, but eventually his system works differently, right? For Ruben Amorim saying that he will continue to do that and then it's not working, I have a problem with that.